Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suranjali Seal, and like I always say, if you're somebody that loves literature and is all about literature, then this is the place for you. And if you're also someone who's seeking to enhance your grammar and vocabulary skills, then this is the place to be. We've already covered and began and cleared our concept of the preposition, the definition of a preposition, and the preposition of direction. In our video today, we're going to cover the preposition of place. So without any further ado, let's get right into today's video. Right at the get-go, we're going to look at the preposition of place and its definition. What does it exactly mean? So if you just read or look at the screen, this is what it's written. Preposition of place describe the position or location of a noun or pronoun. Now, if you haven't watched my previous video yet, I suggest that you do so because I've discussed the definition of prepositions in general. I've discussed that in detail with examples. I've also discussed the meaning, the definition, and the whole concept of a noun and pronoun in detail with examples. So if you haven't watched the other video, I suggest you do so for better understanding so that the concepts are very, very clear. So what I'm going to exactly explain here is the term place. What does place exactly mean? It's a location or a position. For example, if you were to ask me, where are you right now? I'll say I'm in my room. It's a place, it's a location where I'm at. If I ask you, where are you right now? You'll say I'm at home, I'm at school, I'm in college, or I'm at college, I'm actually at the supermarket, I'm in the market, or I'm going towards school. All of these things is actually describing the location that you're in. The position in the sense, where is the pen? On the table? Is it on the table? Is it under the table? Okay, all of those things are describing the position. Where did you keep the teacup? In the kitchen. It's a position. Okay, where did you keep the plate? On the table. It's a position again. So it's a position or a location of a noun or pronoun. Anything, the location of which is told, right? It's a preposition is used to describe the location, to describe where something is. So that's exactly the simple definition or the simple way of explaining what preposition of place is. Now, there are many words that are used. If you just say the cat, the bed, does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. The cat, the bed. Where is the cat? Is it on the bed? Is it under the bed? All of those things we have to figure out, and exactly what helps us make sense of these sentences are the prepositions of place. What are the examples? For example, words like in, on, at, above, behind, between, next to. All of these things describe where a thing is. Where is your friend? Next to me. Where is the cat? Under the bed. Where is the pen? On the table. So simply to put it, anything that tells us where a thing is the preposition of place. These are words that are used to describe the position or location of something. Now they specify where something is, such as the book is on the table is one example, or the cat is under the sofa is another. So the first word that we're going to look at in detail, we're going to look at each of them. The first word is in. Where and how do we use the word in? Now, in is used for a location within a larger space, used to indicate a position inside something, such as an enclosed space, a container, or a large area. For example, you will never say I am in the park, or I am not a larger, like I'm not in outside. For example, you're just standing on the road, you will not say I'm in the road, you'll say I'm on the road. No, but when you say in, it means you're within a larger space. I'm in the car. The larger space is your car and you're inside it. There's a larger enclosed space within which you are standing or sitting. That is in the car. If you say that where is the tea, it's in the cup. The larger space is the cup and the tea is in it. So whenever there's a larger enclosed space, you can say that I'm in the park. Why will you say I'm in the park? Because the park has also a border. No, within that larger space, you're in the park. You're in the say resort. Whenever you say, you'll never say we're on the resort. Anything that is enclosed, anything that has a border, anything which is a larger space within which you're standing, you'll always use in. So if you say where's the pen, it's in my pencil box or in my bag. You'll say where are the books? In my bag. The larger space is your bag and the books are in it. So in is always used in a location within a larger space. Larger space when you compare the two objects, in comparison to the object, it's a larger space. So for example, my bags are the bag there, so that is a larger space in comparison to my books. So my book is in the bag. It's like that. So the tea is in the cup. it's the same logic, okay? So used to indicate a position inside something, such as an enclosed space. Such, where am I? In my room. It's an enclosed space, no? So it's an enclosed space, a container or a large area. Where are the biscuits? In the container. Same thing. So example, the keys are in my pocket. When to use in enclosed spaces, to show that something is inside a room, a building, or a container. Same logic. Large geographical areas, for example, cities. Where do you stay? I stay in Delhi, in Mumbai. Okay, where are you from? I'm from India. Or where do you stay? I stay in a house in this locality. I stay in that locality. It's like that. An enclosed space, a border should always be there. So you have states, countries, and even where you can say in India, I stay in India, like that. So it should always have a boundary, a border, a large area, okay, an enclosed space or a large area with a particular boundary, you can use in. Then if you say liquids and substances, to show what they contain, like I said, where's the tea? In the cup. Where's the water? In the glass. Same logic. And then languages, to show that a text is written in a particular language. You can use it for language also. What is this written in? In English. What is this written in? In Sanskrit. Okay, which language are you speaking in? I'm speaking in English. It's like that. You can use in to even describe languages. So this is what in means. This is the preposition of in, and these are the circumstances or situations in which you can actually use grammatically correctly. You can actually use in these kind of situations. When to use in is very, very important. So I think this is very, very simple, very, very easy. So we're going to move on to the next word, which comes under the preposition of place. Now, the next word that we're going to talk about under the preposition of place is the word on. Now, many a times we get confused between where to use in and where to use on. So this is going to clear out everything for you. So on is used for a surface which is horizontal or vertical. Any surface which is horizontal or vertical, flat space. It should be a flat space. There and then only, okay, is where you're going to use on. I'll give you examples, concrete examples where you can actually use on. Now again, just to recap, in is used whenever it's an enclosed space or where there are borders involved or a language. Now on is used in these situations, on surfaces. In has nothing to do with a flat surface, okay? In is like you can get in the car, in it can be a round surface, it just has to be enclosed. But when it comes to on, it has to do with surfaces, flat surfaces, horizontal or vertical. So the first instance is you can use on surfaces. So used for anything in contact with a surface, whether horizontal or vertical. The book is on the table is always flat, okay, it's horizontal. The pictures are on the wall, it's vertical. On the wall, you're hanging pictures on the wall. And the cat is on the roof, okay, on the roof of a house. It's always a flat surface. It's like that, it's a flat surface. It, like on the roof, it's not necessarily it has to be enclosed. On the wall, it does not mean that it has to have borders, okay? It just has to do with the surface, either flat or horizontal. So in is when there's an enclosed space, when there is a border, when there's a language involved. On is when there's a surface, flat surface, vertical or horizontal. Next, on the floors or floors of buildings. So whenever you're walking, like I said, you will never say I'm walking in the road, because there's no enclosed space, it's open. No, but you are walking on what? A flat surface. So it's going to be I'm walking on the road. If you say I'm walking on the floor, I'm dancing on stage. The stage is also a flat surface, okay, a big flat surface on which your feet are in contact with that flat surface. Anything which is in contact with that flat surface, horizontal or vertical, is on. So you're dancing on stage, you're walking on the floor, you're on the road. It's the same logic. Okay, now the next that we're going to see, I'm just giving the examples. The office is on the 3rd floor. Or you can say my cake, like these are the examples that I've given here. My cake fell on the floor. The floor is a flat surface. The 3rd floor is a big floor, a big flat surface on which you have compartments, no? So anything that has to do with a flat surface, you'll use on. Next, you have on lines, roads and rivers. Like I said, you'll always be, the boat is floating on the river, because there's a contact between the two things. The boat is in contact with that surface, the horizontal surface, which is the river. The car is on the road. My car is running on the road. On the road, why? Because between the car and there's a contact between the car and the road. Similarly, I'm walking on the road. My legs and the road are in contact. No, but it's a horizontal surface. It's the same logic. Okay. Now used for things located on a line, such as street, road, or river, anything that is located on a line. Okay, on a line, it is always going to be the word on. Now, in public transportation and vehicles, now if you question me, you'll say, just in the previous slide I told you that you can say that I'm sitting in my car. Then how can I be on the bus? How can I be on the train? Because a train is also an enclosed space. Okay, a train is also an enclosed space. A car is also an enclosed space. A bus is also an enclosed space. But I said I am sitting in the car, but I'm saying I'm traveling on the bus. Why will I say on? You always use on a flat surface that you can walk around. In a train, you can actually walk around the surface, no? You're walking around that surface. In a train, you are free to walk around. If you are on the bus also, there's a considerable amount of length through which you can walk within the bus only. Okay, so you're on the bus, you're traveling on the bus, on the train, a space where you can walk around. I'm not traveling in a plane, I'm traveling on a plane, because even within a plane, it's a larger area where you can walk around. Anyway, just remember this, in is used where you can't walk. I'm in the car. Okay, you're stationary in the car and you're driving the car. Okay, there's no movement, no scope of movement. But in on, there is a scope of movement, or always, always, you're going to always have a scope for movement. So since you're walking in the train, you can walk within a bus, you can walk on the plane also. Inside that enclosed space, you can actually walk, so you use on. So like I said, you can question me, why are we saying in the car and on the bus? This is the logic. So used for modes of transport where you can stand or walk around. Okay, so examples, I saw them on the train, she is on the bus right now, and you can't make phone calls on a plane. So it's the same thing. So I hope this is clear. Now there's a side note that I have given you, just read that. You can also use in for certain contexts, especially when focusing on the inside of a vehicle. But on is the standard for travel itself. I am moving on the road. We're always on the go. We're always on the road, okay? Or you'll say, I'm moving. Of course, in can be used, like I said, inside a car. But just remember, when it's transport, moving, standing, walking, on is the standard, okay? On we use on the plane, on the train, anything, okay, where you can move around. Now, lastly, where you can use on is in media and technology. So used for television, radio, the internet, and other media. Like I said, it's how will I say, your preposition of place tells you a location, no? So suppose you're in your room and you can actually hear a news anchor. So the news anchor, a particular place, that sound is coming from a particular place. So you cannot say the news anchor is in the TV. It's not an enclosed space within which the news anchor is sitting. You can hear, but she's on TV. It's a horizontal space. No, like the TV is a flat screen and it is on. Maybe if you fixed it to the wall, it's on that horizontal plane. Even on media, television, like radio, it tells you about the position. Where is the sound coming from? Maybe from the music system. Where is the speaker? He's on the radio. Anytime there's media and technology involved, you're not you can speak into the mic. That is correct. You're speaking into the mic. You're speaking into the mic, no, like when you're holding. But when you're talking about larger media technology, for example, like TVs and radios, from which actually sound comes up and you can actually hear it, you can tell the location of the thing itself. Like I'm in my room, and if my anyone from my family is watching TV, I can say that the news anchor is on TV. Okay, it's telling me the position of a particular thing. A position is what? On the TV. It's in that room on the TV. I'm actually listening to the news anchor. Okay, now see, used for television, radio, the internet, and other media. I saw it on TV, like I said. I learned it on the internet. He is always on his phone, on his phone. And then on the right or left, used for directions also. I'm sitting on the right, I'm sitting on the left. So you have to get it clear. There are very less chances where you use in. I'm not in the TV. In always means you're within something, a larger space, a boundary. The TV cannot be a larger space. It's not even a box. It's a screen. So a radio also, you cannot go inside the radio, sit there and talk, no. So the logic over here is like you use on whenever there's media and technology. You cannot go inside the internet and then talk, okay. It's more, that logic should always be there. You cannot, in is always an enclosed space. So whenever there's media and technology, you use on. Now lastly, the direction is very easy. On the right, on the left. We use this for our friends in our day-to-day lives also. The tree is on my right, okay, or my friend is sitting on my left. The same logic. So example, the office is on the left. So I hope this is clear. We're going to move on to the next word. The next word for today is the word at. Now, it is used for a specific point or location. Now, I'll just give a pointer, okay? Always remember this sign, okay? You're pointing at something. If I say in, does it make sense? No. If I say on, does it make sense? No. But if I say at, that means you're pointing at me. You're pointing at something. So whenever you use at, it's usually a point where something is happening. Now, where do we use at? Common uses of at for place, okay? In terms of place, specific points or location. So when referring to a particular spot or position, pointing at a particular spot or position, okay? Example, she is waiting at the entrance. So this is a big house, and in this big house there's a particular point. No, you're pointing at something. So in this big house there's a particular point, the door, and she's waiting at the door. So you will not say she's waiting in the door. It's not an enclosed space. You're not going to say she's on the door, because she's not walking on the door, and she cannot be on the door because it's not a vertical horizontal space. But she is at the door, a particular point in the whole house. If I say that she is at the window or at the door, she's at the, say, station, or if this is a big locality, somebody comes and asks me, where is your sister? I'll say she's at the grocery store. That means in this big locality there's one point where she is in. If she says, where is where is, say, where is your house located? At this street. Okay, I stay in this house. Okay, in this house, it's an enclosed space. At this street, the street name. Okay, at ABCD street. So it is a particular point. Or you can say, I stay in India at this location. That means in India, which is a big enclosed territory, this is a big space, and in it I stay at a particular locality. Okay, I stay at a particular place. So this is the usage of at. Okay, so the first is specific point or locations. She is waiting at the entrance. That is, in this big house there's a particular door or an entrance. She's waiting at the entrance, a particular point. Now the bus stop is at the corner of the street. You will not say in the corner of the street. The bus stop is at the corner of the street. You're pointing a big street and the bus stop is right there. So you're pointing at a particular space, the point. Okay, so always remember this. This is specific point or location. Addresses for specific house or building numbers on a street. So example, I live at 15 Craig Street. So the idea is, a big street, say ABC is the street, and you live in a particular house. No, in a house that is an enclosed space, but at this street, your house is located at this street. Like, it's a big locality, and in that one house, right? It's a point. Okay, so I hope this is clear. This is very easy. Then you have public places and institutions. This is very interesting. For locations where specific activity is taking place, hubbub is taking place. Where is your sister? At school. At school, there's so many things that are taking place at one go. So many people, so many students. Okay, where is she going? Where is your mother? She's at the grocery store. There's so many things happening in the grocery store. People are buying, shopping, there are more parcels that are coming in. There's so many aisles. People are on the line. There's so much of hubbub going on. Okay, so much of activity. So places where things are taking place, some kind of activity is taking place, you can also use at there. Where is she? At the concert. Okay, where is she? At the concert. Where is he? At the concert. At the concert. So much of things are taking place. Okay, there's so much of fun happening. So many people involved. Then at. You work in a grocery store, however. How? You are saying she's at the grocery store and she's in the grocery store. The difference? I'll tell you the difference. If I'm in the grocery store, I can be in the grocery store. If I'm a worker, suppose I'm employed, okay, I'm employed, I'm working in the grocery store, okay, I'm working in the grocery store because I'm sitting here and I'm working whole day. It's an enclosed space. So I'm working in the grocery store. But however, if I'm a customer, if I come to the grocery store and go away, okay, you'll always use at. Because a lot of people, suppose there's a grocery store, there's a fruit store, then there's, say, a toy store, a bakery, a cake store, like this in one line. You have to point at a particular place where you are at. Say, where's your mother? So there's a bakery store, there is a toy store, there is a shoe store, there's a clothes like shopping mall or whatever is there. In this, all of these things involved, where? In particular point where your mother is. Where is she? She's at the grocery store. If you enter a shopping mall, no, and there's so many malls here, where? Amongst all of these shops, where is she? she's at the food counter, she's at the food court, she's up there, she's at the food court. Okay, the thing now, see another difference I'll tell you. Okay, if you say in the same shopping mall, you're saying there's so many shops, no, like there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 shops. Where is she? At the grocery store. You go there. Now suppose you have to point at something that is on the third floor. Where is she? On the third floor again, because there is a flat horizontal. It's very confusing that way. Where is she? She's at the mall. Why at the mall? Because there's so many shops. There's so many markets. There's so many say malls. Okay, there's so many malls, but she's at one particular one. So she's at the mall. Okay, she's at the concert at the mall, like that. Now within the mall only, if you have to say that I have to go to the fourth floor. Okay, where is the food court? On the fourth floor, again, because there's a flat surface involved. Don't get confused. You cannot say she's at the food court. You'll say that, yeah, she's at the you can say she's at the food court, but on the third floor, because it's a position on a flat surface. Okay, so again, I'll tell you, this is addresses for specific house or building. Where do you stay? I stay at home, okay, which is located at this street. Public places and institutions, that is, where is she? At school. Where is she? At office. Okay, I'm at the office, they say like that. So I'm at the train station, they are at the supermarket, he is studying at Oxford University. You will not say that she's studying in Oxford University. She is studying at Oxford University. These are locations where specific activity is taking place. Lots and lots of activities take place in school, in offices, and in all of these other institutions. So where this hubbub and activity is taking place, you use at all the time. Events, to indicate attendance at a specific event. Like I said, she's at the concert, she's at the coronation. Okay, or you can say that she's at the felicitation ceremony. So same thing, whenever something is happening, event, you point at a particular event, a particular thing that is taking place. That one point is always going to use the word at. And then you have fixed expressions. For example, common phrases. Okay, common phrases that do not change. So for example, you'll say there's so many houses, no? So these houses are located at, okay, this street, correct? But when you say where are you in all these line of houses, where are you? Okay, I'm at home, I'm at school, he is at work. These are words that will never change. These are common phrases. Here also you use at. So again, just to clear the confusion, just to repeat again, the word in is used for an enclosed space, a boundary, and languages. On is used whenever there's a flat surface involved, horizontal or vertical. Okay, like media and everything, you can use on. Now at is used whenever you have to point to a specific location. You can use it when you have to point a particular location. For example, she's at the park. Okay, she's at the park. Or you can say she's waiting at the entrance. The bus stop is at the corner of the street, not in the corner of the street, at the corner of the street. You can use it for addresses. I stay at home at this, or my house is located at this street. Okay, then you can say public places and institutions, locations with a specific activity that is taking place. Events, to indicate attendance, a specific event that is taking place. And fixed expressions that do not change. So I hope that this is clear. If this is clear, in, at, and on are the most commonly used prepositions of place, but sometimes we misplace them and misuse them while using our sentences. So we're going to move on to the next set of words. Now this next set of words we can finish very easily. I think this is the most common understanding, okay, basic understanding of the words under and below. But there are differences between the two, when to use under and when to use below. This is also a preposition of place. Under also tells us the location of a thing. Below also tells us the position of a thing. So that's what we're going to look at. So under and below is used for a position that is lower than something else, in comparison to something else. So use under for direct physical position when something is covered, while below is often used for measurements like temperature or height, and for things that are simply lower, not necessarily covered. Now what does this mean? Okay, covered is always when you say, cover always comes like when there's something on top of you. So this is a cover. Below can be, this cover should not necessarily be there. There should not be anything like, you know, covering you or covering anything. So for example, the table has a flat surface, so you can say the cat is under the table. You will not say below. Under, why? Because there's a cover. If the cat is under the table, then this is the cover, na, the flat surface of the table. So you'll have the cat under the table. But when will you use below? Below is like this covering should not be there. I'm standing below the staircase, okay? I'm waiting for you below the staircase. Below the staircase, as in that staircase doesn't have a roof, no, it's not going to cover me. I'm waiting for you just below it. In comparison to the height, I'm at the lower position. I'm waiting for you there. If you say the temperature is below this temperature, it's a comparison between a higher temperature. So the temperature is below this, okay? You know, I am below your age. Okay, I am below your age. Okay, below you will not say underage is completely different. Underage, the meaning is different. Okay, but below, you know, below, you will not say that I am higher than you, okay, or I am above you, but you can use below when there's no covering. I have the other words of above and over also in the next slide prepared. So once we cover that, you'll understand this better. So for under and below, under is generally more common for physical locations, while below is suitable when specific physical relationship is less important than simply being lower in position, as in a list. Now see, physical locations, under, like the cat is a physical thing, the table is a physical thing, physical location of the cat is under the table. But below can be used when, you know, specific, it's just a comparison, specific physical relationship is less important. This physical relationship, when you say the temperature is below this temperature, below the staircase, that physical relationship is not important. The cat is under the table. How? It is in relation to the table. The position of the table and the position of the cat are related to each other, no? So it's under the table, okay? The cat, we can always use under because the table is there, under the bed because the bed is there. The relationship between the object and this between the two objects is there. But when you use below this temperature, okay, there's no physical relationship necessarily. You know, below age, there's no physical relationship, but there's a comparison between the two. So it is less important than simply being in a lower position. Below age, lower position. Below the staircase, a lower position than something else. Now see, I've already clearly distinguished between the two, okay? Under you can use when there's a direct physical position. Use when something is directly beneath another object, often touching it or in a clearly defined lower space. So the cat is under the table, the ball is under the bed. When these two objects are, one is under the other object, there's direct physical contact between the two, or there's a physical relationship between the two. That is, it is directly beneath the other object, or it is directly touching the other object also. Okay, one below the, one on top of the other, like that. So under is always used when something is directly beneath another object, often touching it, or in a clearly defined lower space. Now covered or hidden, used when something is concealed by something else. Okay, under is used when it's covered or hidden, when something is concealed by something else. So when the ball is under the bed, remember we have done it in our childhood. Ball will go under the bed, we'll take a torchlight and try to figure out where the ball, rubber bands, or erasers or scales, pencils, they'll all go under the bed. We'll take a torchlight and try to search for it. Okay, so the thing is, when something is hidden or concealed by a big thing, so when the pencil falls or rolls under the bed and then you have to search for it, or we used to have small toys that will go under the bed, when you have to search for it, you have to hide because it's covered or concealed by the bigger one. The bigger one is the bed and that smaller one is concealed inside, right? So you take a torchlight and search for it. Same logic over here. That's when you use under. The toy, the pencil, the scale, everything, whatever has gone under the bed. Now for below, see, simple lower positions used below when something is lower than something else, but not necessarily touching or covered. I'm standing below the stairs, but the stair is not covering my head, no, it's just a slanting structure. I'm just waiting below it. Okay, so it's the same logic over here. It's just that there's no touch. Okay, there's no touch or any physical relationship between the two objects. Now the picture below is beautiful. Picture below anything, it can be anything. Picture below anything is beautiful. Okay, now less direct or general can be used to indicate a general lower position, but a less common for direct physical placement than under. We sat below the tree is less common than we sat under the tree. We can use below. Okay, The only difference is there should not be this relationship between the two things. We sat below the tree, okay, is less common than we sat under the tree. We always say we are sitting under the tree, no, because the tree provides a shade. It's commonly used. We sat below the tree also is correct, but it is less commonly used. That is what, less direct or general. Below is less direct, okay, less direct, can be used to indicate a general lower position. Under will be specific. For example, the ball is under the table, okay, a specific location. And below can be, we're below the staircase, specific location. I can be to the right of the staircase, to the left of the staircase, right in the middle of the staircase. That particular location, that particular point is not clear. It's just in general, the temperature should be below this much degree Celsius, okay, this much degree Celsius temperature should be below it. So suppose I say that the temperature should be below this, okay, it can be anything, no, below it. It can be anything, 20, 30, 40, anything. If I say the temperature should be below 60, so I'll say that it can be anything. It can be 61, it can be 58, it can be 30. So it's more general, it can be anything. But if I say, that like under, no, if I say it's under, that means there's a specific position. You can actually point towards it. Where is it located? So I hope this is clear. And below is also used for measurements and rankings. For example, scores, temperature or height. So the temperature dropped below 0, like I said, and the score was below average. So in general, below average can be anything. It can be different from people to people also. So below average and scores, temperature, height. You're below the height of this, you're below the height of that, below the height of say 5 feet, okay, below the height of this, below the height of 5. I'm just saying it can be anything, 4, 3, 2, 1, like that. But then when you specifically use under, no, it points to a specific point, and below is more general. So I hope this is clear. We're going to move on to the next set of words. Now, by the same logic, we're going to move on to the next set of words, which is above and over. Very easy, okay. It is used for a position that is higher than something else. Of course, above and over both. Higher than something else in comparison to something else. Now, you use above for a static higher position and over for movement or when something covers another object. Okay, higher as in something without direct contact, okay. When you use above, see, you can say that the third floor is above this floor. That is, there's not direct, or maybe I can say the floor above my head, or above my head, no, that means I'm on the first floor and the floor above my head is the third floor. So there's no direct, the floor cannot be on my head, no, there's no connection. So you can say something that is not connected, okay. If you have to use, however, if you have to use over is when there's movement involved. Above is a static position, The third floor is above the second floor. It's a static position. You cannot move that floor. It's static there, okay. But over is used when there's movement or crossing involved. Movement, that is, the birds flew over the building, the plane flew over the building, okay. That is, something is above something else, okay, something is on top of the other. On top of the building there are birds and there is the plane, but there's a movement involved, over. That means they're flying over the building, okay, the plane is flying over the building, like that. Also, if they're crossing, also it's a location. Use over whenever something is directly over something else and there is a contact. Above means there should not necessarily be any contact, but over has contact. For example, you can say the roof is over the building. It's grammatically correct. Why? Because the roof is over the building. The roof is connected to the building, okay, and it's over the building. The roof is over the building. There's connection and it is on top of the building, no? So, it's connected and it is at a higher position than something else. So, I'll give you exact examples. I'll give you the explanation, but this is very, very easy, okay? While they can be sometimes interchangeable, that means sometimes you can use them synonymously. You can use them interchangeably. Above often refers to a position without direct contact, while over can imply crossing or covering. How? Above, you can use above when there's a static higher position. Indicates something is at a higher level than something else, often without touching. There is a painting above the sofa. This is the sofa and the painting is on the wall. So the painting's edge and the sofa's back is not touching, okay? It's just above this. The painting is hanging above the sofa, okay? it is at a higher position than the sofa, but there's no direct contact between the two. Then you have the chandelier hangs above the dining room table. This is the table. I'm sitting here to have dinner, and the chandelier, the lights, no, the lights, the chandelier is hanging above my head, above the table. It's not on, not touching my head. It's not touching the table. It is just hanging above my head. So there's no direct contact, but the chandelier is at a higher position than my head. We were flying above the clouds. That is, when you take a plane, the clouds seem to be below you, right? When you're traveling on the plane, you'll see that the clouds are below you. So you say we're above the clouds in the sense that there is no direct contact between the plane and that the sea of clouds that you see, no, so to say, there's no direct contact. You're just flying over the above the clouds. You're flying above the clouds. Okay, now higher rank or importance, you can use above. A captain is in the navy ranks above a captain in the army. She didn't rise above the rank of the supervisor. So above is always used even when you have to describe rank. You cannot say her rank is over the army's rank. You cannot say a navy's rank is over. That is wrong grammar anyway. It sounds wrong also. You can always say that her rank is above this other person's rank. You can say that she did not rise above the rank of a supervisor. Whenever there's a comparison of position of rank, you can use above. And over is used when there is movement. I said above can be static, but over always has movement. Indicates movement across, covering, or passing a point. That is, across, you're going across something, you are actually covering something, that is, you're directly in contact and you're covering something, or you're passing a point. This is a point, and you like, this is a building, and this is the point, a building, and the plane is just passing over the building. This is the point, you're just passing a point. Okay, so now see, the plane flew over the building, like I said. The dog jumped over the log. If this is the log, the dog just jumped over it. You're crossing a point over it. Okay, now covering or contact, okay, can mean something is on top of something else, covering it. That is, he draped a blanket over the furniture. The water came over our knees. You know, whenever we shift or we go out for a long time from our house, we cover the beds and the sofa and everything. No, we cover them so that, you know, dust doesn't settle on them. Okay, so to protect the furniture, we cover everything, then we go out for a vacation. So in the same sense, you're covering, you're putting something over that sofa, you're putting something over the bed. So, you know, he draped a blanket over the furniture. So something that is covering on top of something else, there's a direct contact covering something else, and you know, it is, you know, in contact, as in that sofa and that blanket, no, is in contact with each other. So you're covering something one on top of the other, you're putting something one on top of the other, then you can use over. So the water came over our knees. Now, so when you stand near the beach, did you see when the waves come, they cover your feet like that? So it's like the water is coming over your feet. It's the same logic. Something is covering something else. Now, when to use which? For static positions, above is used, like I told you. Like, you cannot move that whole floor. It's there. And especially when there's no direct contact. And for movement or crossing over is the correct choice. It's not static, there's movement involved. So after this, now we're going to move on to the last slide. So the last set of words is between, next to, beside, near, behind, and front of. Okay, we're going to near, close to, all of this we're going to look. Very easy. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining these because it's something that is very common and we use it every day. So between is used when something is in the space separating two other things. Between me and this, you have to be in between two other things. Okay, very easy, there's nothing to explain here. Example, the park is between the school and the post office. Anything that is between two other things. Okay, so in the middle of two other things, that is between. Next to, beside, and near, used for proximity or being close to something. Proximity means closeness. Okay, close to something. So example, the shop is next to the post office. Next to the post office. If I say near, it's different. Near, it means, if I say near the post office, it can be a little farther away also, a little farther away. But next to means immediately adjacent, immediately next to it. So when I say it's next to the post office, that means this is the shop, this is the post office. But if I say near, it can be a little far away, it can be on the opposite side of the road also, it can be anywhere, but it's just near the area. So see, next to, the shop is next to the post office. Behind indicates the rear of something. Behind means back of something. And front of indicates the part that faces forward. I'm standing in front of your house, the front part. Okay, This is very easy. Next to and beside both mean something immediately adjacent to one another. So what do we mean by adjacent? It means that if you're adjacent to one another, that means just next to. If I'm sitting here, my friend is sitting just next to me, or my friend is sitting beside me. Both of them means immediately next to, immediately adjacent to one another. Okay. And while near indicates proximity. Proximity means that if I say my friend is next to me, that means she's immediately to my left or right. She's just sitting there. My friend is sitting beside me, she's right here. Okay, it's like that. But if I say that my friend is near me, that means she can be here, she can be there, she can be here, anywhere where I can see her. She's just near, close proximity. So near is often interchangeable with close to and suggests a greater distance than next to or beside. Like I said, greater distance than next to and beside. Next to, beside means just here, and near means close to, proximity, near me. She's just standing near me. It can be anywhere, opposite side, this side, that side, not immediately adjacent. So I hope that this is clear. So these are the most important prepositions of place that we have covered today, and I really hope that this video has been helpful to you as far as grammar and vocabulary skills are concerned. So if my videos are of help to you, then please do subscribe to my channel and share my video and like my videos, and continue to come back for similar content. And if you have enjoyed today's video, then I would really suggest you watch the other videos which I have uploaded on grammar and vocabulary, and also literary terms and devices, because they're going to enhance your understanding of literature, of course, and also the way you look at grammar, the way you use grammar is going to correct and enhance all of our literary skills and grammatical skills. So till we meet again, I really hope that you stay healthy and happy. See you in the next video, guys.